Superman?
Yeah. Yes.
He's strong.
What do you mean I'm not Superman?
You're gonna, well, you want to run faster than a speeding bullet and jump over high buildings with a single leap and.
That's right.
Okay, he wants to be Superman. Is Superman real?
No.
Oh, okay. And so you want to do a fantasy game? Oh, that's fun. I used to want to be Superman. That's for sure. I played Superman too. It's fun to play set fantasy things, isn't it? And like you can be all those things. And that reminds me of a story.
Okay, Superman. Hey.
Uh-huh.
I know what your name is.
What?
My name is Jimmy,
Okay. He's
but I
really-
like playing Superman.
Okay.
And I don't like spiders.
Well, once there was 5 Chinese brothers that had the same strength, or no, they didn't. They all had something different about themselves. That was what made them special. That's right. And I think I should tell you about that story, right?
Yeah.
The 5 Chinese brothers. Well, that story goes way back hundreds of years, because hundreds of years ago they would make up stories about super strength and super vision and super hearing and all that stuff. Then as well, even there's mythical stories about that kind of stuff. Well, this story is about 5 Chinese brothers. It was written many hundreds of years ago. One of them could hold the sea in his mouth. One of them had a neck like iron. The other one had skin that could not be burned. The fourth one had legs that could be like rubber. And the fifth one could hold his breath almost as long as he wanted. And because there were 5 of them, they were quintuplets. They all looked just the same, and so they wore the same clothes, and nobody could tell them apart. But the first Chinese brother that could hold the sea in his mouth would go down every day going fishing, and on school break, one boy watched all the different kinds of fish he brought back. And he said, "Can I go?" No. Next day, "Can I go?" No. Next day, "Can I go?" No. Finally, he said, "Well, I get a little lonely, but if you went with me and you found out how I got all these different kinds of fish and stuff, well, you'd have to be able to keep a secret." "I can do that, no problem." "Well, no." Next day, "Can I go? I'll keep a secret." "No." And it went on until finally he said, "Okay, I do get lonely, and I'd love to have company, and you can keep a secret, and even more than a secret, you got to know how to obey in an instant." Boy, goes, I learned how to do that when I was 2 years old, right? So they go down to the seashore, and the first brother, he says, "Now remember, I'm going to hold the sea in my mouth. That's my secret." And he had just told the boy, and he was so excited. The boy said, "Oh, this is going to be so cool." "Well, when I hold the sea in my mouth, it builds pressure. I can't control it. It'll just go when it wants to come out. So as soon as you see me motion to you to come in an instant. I can do that. This is exciting." So this brother leaned over, and he started to swallow the sea or hold the sea in his mouth. And the boy looks out there, "Oh, look at these fish. Oh my gosh, look at the seashells. Seashells are worth a lot too. Oh my gosh, you haven't done anything with seashells." And she started picking up the fish and picking up the seashells. Wait a minute. There's this second ship from I bet the pirates or something sunk this ship, and look at these. I gotta see what's in it. And as he ran in there was these jewels laying around, and pearls and rubies and bracelets, and he put them on his legs and his arms and his ears and his neck and his underwear, and everywhere he could find. He put rubies and rings, and he looks up at the brothers going, "Oh yeah, just a couple more rings. We're gonna be rich. Oh, I can't believe you've never done this. Wait, one more ring, one more bracelet, one more."
Uh-oh. I think the boy drowned.
It was all over. Well, the brother went back to the village. Was the boy with him?
No.
They're asking, "Where's that boy? Wasn't there a boy with you? You're going to jail. If he's not back in the morning, we're going to have your head." So they put him in jail. Next morning he comes back out. "Okay, that boy's not out. We're going to have your head today." So they take him over there where the axe and the chopping block is and stuff. And, "Oh, could I say goodbye to my mother?" "Oh, well, that's only right. Your last words. You say goodbye to your mother. He ran home, and what do you think he did?
Hide it.
He switched places with the brother that had
An iron neck.
an iron neck. Right on. And so he came back, put him back down. He looked just like him. They raised the axe and bounced right off. What's that? Try that again. His head won't come off. So they put him back in jail. They scratch their heads. Next day they say, okay, we'll put him to the stake. We'll put him to the fire. That's what we'll do. And they take him out where the stake is, and they put the fire around the twigs, and they said, would you like to say anything before you go? And what do you think he said?
Yes. Yes.
I'd like to say
Goodbye.
goodbye to my mother. Yes. And so he ran home, and he switched places with who?
The one that can resist fire. The one that's fire resistant.
That's right. Fire resistant skin. And he comes back and it times him up when they light the fire. And he's standing there. And the fire is all around him. And it burns down to ashes and there's nothing there. Oh my gosh, what happened? Oh, put him back in jail. Okay, we can't have his head and we can't burn him. Well, tomorrow we'll take him out to the sea and we'll drop him over. He can't be in the water all day without drowning. So they take him over to the boat and the next morning and they say, would you like to say something before you go?
Yes.
And he says,
Yes.
yes, I'd like to say goodbye to my
Mother.
And so he runs home and he switches places with who?
With the guy who can hold his breath almost
No.
1,000.
Yeah?
For almost as long as he
No.
wanted.
No?
That is true.
This is the one that a lot of people tend to forget this one, right?
The one that has rubber skin.
Rubber legs. Okay, and he puts him on the boat up to the sea, into the water. When his head's above the water. He's floating there. His legs had stretched down. He was standing on the bottom of the ocean. And his head was above it. And finally, by the end of the day, they pick him up. His legs are back, put him on the boat, and take him home. Oh my gosh. He won't drown. He can't have burn, and he can't have his head. Let's see. Nobody can live without air. We'll do the air thing. And so they took him out the next day, took him to an oven where the door is airtight. And before they put him in, they said,
Do you want to say any last words?
and he said, yes, I'd like to say goodbye to my mother. And he ran home and he switched places with. Now it's that one. That's right. That's right. You got it. They could hold his breath almost as long as he wanted. And so they put him in. Lock the door. And they wait. And they wait. And then they decide to have a little picnic. And then they decide they're going to sleep outside all night on the ground, on the pallet. Blanket. Next morning they wake up. Nobody can live without air all day, all night. So they go over and they open the door. What do you think?
He's alive. He's alive.
Good morning, everyone. And he jumps out. That's right. Oh dear, he can live without air, and he can't drown, and he can't burn, and he can't have. Well, he must be innocent. Go home and live with your mother. And so it is that they're still cooperating. Now that's the true part of the story, isn't it? That when you cooperate with one another, things go better, and we can work together better too, right? Okay.